Welcome to What is the Soul, Part 5. I'm Paul Tice. In this talk, I'd like to introduce you to someone you should meet. Your true self, also known as the higher self or your soul. It's been waiting for you all this time, but you've been too busy with the outer world and neglecting the inner one. A deeper part of you exists, and the purpose of this talk is to remove another block on your path to finding it. Scientists have failed to prove the existence of the soul, but you can prove it to yourself by using these talks and exercises. Some respected teachers have taught others to question "Who am I?" continually, and then wait for an answer. This method works, but can take a long time, years as opposed to months compared to our method, and can also be confusing. The mind can lead one into 1,000 different directions, trying to answer the question, "Who am I?" because you're not eliminating anything. With so many possibilities and false selves that can become a blind alley, one may never find an answer. The soul really is there, and you deserve to find it and experience it. I believe our method is the best way to do this, which we started in a previous talk. It systematically identifies and removes the things that you're not, so you have no choice but to arrive at what remains, which is the very core of your being. This method empirically proves the soul is there, which means you'll prove it through your own experience. The exercises should be done with the goal of integrating your higher self with your mind and body. When the intelligence in your mind and your body realizes that it's not who you really are, and there's something higher, they will want to become aligned with what you really are. As we progress, the various false selves we have will, one by one, develop the ability to listen to something higher. For example, as a result of doing the body affirmation you've been doing, the body should now understand that it is not who you really are and should be open to integrating with the higher self. Keep this goal of integration over the course of these exercises, which are simple affirmations. Each should be done for a few weeks or longer if you feel it necessary. The definition of the soul is that it's your true self. It is the deepest and most intelligent part of you. It is an observer, but it also inspires your passions and is composed of two things: pure consciousness and light. These two things may be what is left over, but that will not be the case unless you discover it for yourself. If you can do this, then your true self will emerge. This process could align you with your purpose in this world and allow you to find what you've been looking for. What you're looking for is not your body or your thoughts or your habits or your memories, beliefs, ideals, or emotions. You're looking for who you really are. A great Hindu sage, Vasistha, once said, his name was Vasistha, he said, "This inquiry, who am I, is the quest for the self, and is said to be the fire that burns up the seed of the poisonous growth of conceptual thought." He's saying that all of your concepts have grown and formed a false you within the mind, calling it a poisonous growth. So going beyond the mind will lead one outside of the babbling ego to a larger you that resides beyond. From a previous talk, here's a reminder about your true identity. Find the answer. You have a body, but you are not your body. It is just your vehicle in the physical world. You have thoughts, but you are not your thoughts. They are a reflection of you. You have emotions, but you are not your emotions. Who are you? It takes work to overcome a lifetime of misidentifying yourself. I designed the affirmations before knowing that Sufi and Zen masters have used this same approach as a method for awakening. Since this is my take on it, it comes from a purely Western approach, rather than you having to endure the rigors of a strict Sufi or Zen practice, which many Westerners have trouble with. If you've ever heard the stories or read the books about life as a Zen monk, waking up at 3 or 4 in the morning, scrubbing floors for hours at a time, sometimes getting smacked with sticks by superiors as part of the quest for enlightenment. The affirmations are not as difficult. They're incredibly simple, but one must still be rigorous and focused. I've found that having the reminder string or soul string around the thumb is helpful. This next affirmation will show you that you are not your thoughts. But first, what are thoughts? Our thoughts appear in the brain and become language, but originate from somewhere else. They can arrive from 3 different places. First, the lower self will send an impulse to the brain for a basic desire, like food, safety, sex, shelter. The ego converts these impulses into language in the left brain, where language originates. So you can decide what to do. The ego decides what to do about the body's needs, like feeding it, when to sleep, or getting to a restroom, and manages this through the thought process. Secondly, the ego creates cognitive thought through normal consciousness. It makes basic decisions like taking tests at school or doing your job. Lastly, intuitive flashes come from the true self, which are far more subtle. They go into the right brain, then into the conscious mind, which either translates them into words, ignores them, or misses them completely. So your thoughts can also be a reflection of the higher self, but these intuitive thoughts by themselves are just a reflection. They're not you. The real you is not a series of intuitive thoughts that come and go and that may or may not be recognized. The real you is beyond thought and beyond the time it takes to create them. So, thoughts are a reflection of both the ego and the higher self. They are a reflection of whichever you that is the source of those thoughts at the time. The soul sends intuitive flashes of wisdom that you develop into thoughts. They are not you, but messages sent from who you really are, beyond thought. And they're never intuitive flashes of stupidity. Intuition isn't stupid. History shows that the greatest ideas always come in a flash. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "No man ever followed his genius till it misled him." Your genius or soul speaks to you through intuition, and we'll do later talks on this communication process, so you won't miss as many of those messages. So let's go to the next affirmation. Move your focus into your mind. Dwell in there for a minute. Now, think of some plans you have for later today or tomorrow, or what you did yesterday. Then think, I am not my thoughts. They are a reflection of me. Who am I? I am not my thoughts. They are a reflection of me. Who am I? Once in a while, it helps to slow it down, make it a meditation. The reason is because you're using your thoughts to tell you that your thoughts are not you. So the normal thinking process should be deepened in order to get some better results. Each word, one at a time, can really slow things down enough so that to get away from the thoughts that are usually racing in your mind. Thoughts are usually racing like that. So make each word a thought by itself and then examine it. Dwell on each word and its meaning. For example, we'll do a little bit here. Close your eyes and let's start. I am not my thoughts, etc. So, all the way to the end. But do it as normal sentences for the coming weeks, but throw in the slow version to empower things even more. It will clarify what your thoughts really are. After I had done the slow version, I just felt compelled to tell people how special and amazing they really are, because something deep inside me got it, and I realized that we are something more than our thoughts. And I just wanted to let people know, especially those who are like depressed about something or down. I just wanted to let them know. And so there's really, the slow version can really give you access to something like a little secret weapon there. So altogether though, you've spent your life identifying yourself with imposters, your body, your standard thoughts, your emotions, and need to create some distance from them to find your true essence. Let's examine the things that you've used to identify yourself with so you can be completely free to examine who and what you really are. You might decide, I won't bother with this, it's too much work. Or you might try these affirmations once or twice and give up if they don't work right away, as if you can wave a magic wand or wake up like Cinderella who gets kissed by a prince. I've got news for you. Look at me. I'm not a prince or a magician. These exercises may seem strange or redundant, but for some they will work. Don't do them if you just want to learn about the soul without experiencing it, or if you don't feel ready. This is not some religion that I'm trying to cram down your throat. There are other paths to the soul that we'll cover which you might want to try instead. Only you have the power to wake yourself up. I'm just pointing where to go. And if you don't want to go there, that's fine. You can try something different or just stay asleep. But isn't who you really are worth fighting for and working at? This is an important question. Isn't who you really are worth fighting for and working at? If you want to move beyond a human existing to a human being who you really are, then use these affirmations repeatedly with intent and purpose. And if you do this, you may experience a shift. Get serious. The exercises should become habit. And as that happens, the soul will start to develop the power to tame your lower nature, which you're dealing with every day. The most mystic philosopher of them all, Plotinus, put it best, saying, "It is not speedily, my dear friend, that the pinions of your soul will have power to still the untamed body. The creature will yield only to watchful, strenuous constancy of habit, and the inner eye will begin to exercise its clear and solemn vision." This solemn vision is there waiting for you. And so is the inner eye, which we'll cover extensively later on. So do the affirmations if it feels right, and watch this a few more times if needed. This is a serious exploration. This is a serious exploration that can provide you with results if you're ready for them. This process is a progressive unfolding that requires work, patience, and focus. If you do this, you drastically improve your chances to experience a more awakened state. The goal of these talks is to create your name, put your name there, version 2.0, new and improved version, awake and alive in the world, doing what you were meant to do and enjoying every minute of it. So, that concludes part 5 of What is the Soul. Start with the new affirmation, and we'll see you next time.